Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. Welcome to Open. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, coming up on today's show, we'll sit down with the president of the NAACP New York Branch and an important ally who will highlight their fight to improve health outcomes in our community. And after that, we'll learn about the work that an organization is doing to strengthen the growth and development of cosmetology students, professionals, and business owners in New York City. Then we'll hear from an author of a book project that will highlight the historical significance of a legend in the world of boxing. And then finally, we'll hear from a board-certified neurologist who is giving hope to millions of people battling migraines this summer with the help of a brand new migraine relief supplement. So all you have to do is sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and we're wide open. Here we go. Hey, I'm your host, Doc Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guests are the president of the NAACP's New York branch and a New York City Council member for the 40th Council District. They join us to speak about an important legislative bill proposal that will protect the most vulnerable members of our community from tobacco and vapor products. So please welcome to the show Anthony Harmon and Councilwoman Rita Joseph. Welcome, guys.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here today.
Good
Such an
morning.
important conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is so very, very important. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that people are getting involved in these vaping products, but it's highly addictive. And I think a lot of the youngsters they go by the taste and they don't know that they're being addicted to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's Bob. I tell you, that's one of the reasons why the NAACP has taken this on as one of our health initiatives.
Yeah.
So the NAACP has what we call game changers, and then that we are focusing on things like civic participation, civic engagement, economic development, young people, and one of those game changers is health.
Yeah.
So this year, the New York branch is embarking on this effort to raise awareness and create an educational campaign about the dangers of these flavored cigarettes and these menthol flavored cigarettes. Oftentimes, we see them. They'll be flavored fruit, cinnamon flavored, Rocky Road, ice cream flavored, strawberry flavored,
Yeah.
all of those things. And that sweetness or whatever attracts, younger people. And then what ultimately winds up happening, they'll get addicted, to this, which leads to a lifetime of health issues.
Yeah.
As you'll see, there are cherry flavored. There's donut flavored products, things of that sort. And I think it's important that we start raising attention and calling attention to the fact that this is out here in our
Yeah.
community. A lot of times our young people are targeted, our black and brown communities are targeted with these issues. And we were glad to see that, somebody like Rita Joseph, who's a council member, extraordinaire. Let me say that about our council member, who not only chairs the education committee with the city council, but is also introducing a bill or has introduced a bill to, call attention and to raise awareness of this very issue.
Yo.
So, council member Joseph, if you want to share some of your thoughts about, I'm sorry, Bob. Yep.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the bill that we put out.
So I introduced this bill this year to ban menthol cigarettes. That's been a target of the black and brown communities for so long, the advertisement and the health impact it has on our communities, more addicted, and it gives a soothing sensation that you can't get away with. And I was championing this with the late, great Mama Dukes, Hazel Dukes, Dr. Duke,
Yes.
who recently passed away. May she forever rest in paradise. And I was championing this with her. She showed up for every event. She showed up for every press conference to help me raise awareness around young people, around the impact of menthol cigarettes on our community. Remember that even the advertisement was targeted towards us. If you look at the billboards, if you remember, it was cool, people of color in it, fancy cars, and all of that, and made it look cool to want to
Yeah.
pick up a menthol cigarette and smoke it. So my bill calls for the banning of menthol cigarettes and having DWCP, Department of Consumer Protection, be the enforcement agency versus having NYPD be the enforcement agency. And that was one of the biggest pushbacks I had. I had a lot of pushback. Trust me, this road has not been an easy road to navigate, but I've stood up for our community in introducing this bill.
You know, with everything out there, there's that yes and a no, for and against. But they make it sound so tantalizing, not only to the palate, the flavor, but
Correct.
what you're calling it. You know,
Yeah.
ice cream, this and that. You know, Anthony, you mentioned some of the other names before.
Rocky Road.
Yeah,
That's your favorite ice cream flavor. You
Yeah,
would
these are what
gravitate
kids
towards that.
love. Yeah, so
Yep.
they can they're messing with the identification of something that's appealing to the youngsters.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's what we're doing at the NAACP. We're trying to raise attention to the fact. You see the advertisements, and as Councilmember Joseph, look, in 1966, how flashy they made it look, right?
Yep.
And who are they targeting, right? In 2004, right? You know, who are they targeting in 2015, right? The pleasure, always targeting our Black and brown communities with this issue, and we're part of this campaign about the tobacco-free kids because these flavors, right? They know young people like sweetness, and they know young people, would become addicted to those sweet flavors and those brands. So they're targeting specifically, young people with these flavors,
Yeah.
and they become highly addictive. The
Correct.
number of young people that have said that they've tried, or I think it's like 70% of young people that are in high school said that they tried a flavored cigarette or some type of flavored menthol thing. And these are high school kids, right?
Yes, correct.
And the dangers that happen, right? Long-term health effects, right? Cancer, right? Respiratory issues and so forth. And then there's a health impact, right? And
Yeah.
health costs that are associated with this. So I think what we're trying to do is like raise the alarm, call attention, let our parents know that this stuff is happening. Over the weekend, we had something, we had about 1,500 teachers that gathered. So we had a table set up or whatever. We're giving out information again. Maybe teachers can share it with their classrooms.
Yeah.
We had parents there. So we're trying to raise awareness with that. And we're trying to put together like a virtual thing where we can talk to parents specifically about this and what they need to be watching out for, right? And you don't, the vaping doesn't smell like, cigarette smoke, right? It'll smell cherryish and vanilla flavored and stuff. So you may not even know, a parent may not even know that this is happening, right?
Yeah.
Or that the kid is being, or is using it. But we need to raise awareness and really let parents know and let our young people know that this is not a good thing.
And we should also, as the education chair, use young people as ambassadors to
Ah,
sell them.
yeah.
Young people normally don't listen to us. I always give the joke. The minute my son figured I was on Instagram, he left and went to TikTok. So they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to us. So I would make sure that since this is geared towards young people,
Yeah.
that we have young people at the table,
That's
center
true.
them to do this work as well, to be the face of it, to say, hey, this is not good. I used to use it, and these were the impacts of me using that. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's very important to use young people to center this conversation, bring them in, have advisory boards that include young people,
Yeah.
because we always want to make decisions for them, but not with them. So I think young people should be at the center of this conversation as well.
Yeah.
And all civic leaders should be at the conversation of this. This impacts our communities more than any other community. And when you look at the health impacts, it costs a lot of money to care for someone who has cancer. So
Yeah.
prevention is the best medicine.
That's true.
Right.
What about our outreach? Are we in the schools? Are we going to be going out into the community? Because
Yep.
I would like to step out there with you.
We would love that.
And
In the
maybe panel
schools,
discussions, get some youngsters
yes.
involved, like you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing all of that outreach on the ground to make sure that we're reaching schools and everywhere young people are, in churches, making sure clergies are involved in our campaign. We have clergy that's involved, the faith leaders are involved, non-for-profit organizations are involved, schools are involved. So we should be touching every corner that impacts young people.
You got it. Sounds good.
And you know,
Anthony,
my thing is like when people know better, they do better, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're trying to inform the community, right? You know, in terms of the dangers of this menthol flavored, cigarettes, and hopefully they'll change their behavior. And hopefully, we'll make an impact, with this. Again, it's all about raising awareness and calling attention to the fact that this stuff is highly addictive. That these fruit flavored menthol, candy flavored, it's for a reason, right? It's
Yeah.
not, by accident or whatever. It's specifically designed, to attract and get people addicted to it, right?
Yep.
We're looking at statistics right now on the screen or whatever that would tell us the number of people, the number of deaths, particularly African-American deaths that are caused by cigarette smoking. And again, it's targeted, it's specific, it's, to our communities, right? So that's what we're trying to do, Bob. And Councilmember Joseph and I, we talked about the possibility of having a Zoom call and stuff like that, where we're going to raise awareness, call attention to, we're going to be partnering with the United Federation of Teachers and their parent committee, getting the word out to the 5 boroughs, that this is a real issue, right?
Yeah.
And we can't be asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, well, put the Make the Grade Foundation down. We're down with that. Anthony, anything that you guys do in our community is positive. You're helping others get what they need out of life, and that's important. How can people at home help with furthering this case?
Push for a hearing. Since I introduced the bill, I haven't had a hearing yet. So they can reach out to the speaker's office to push for a hearing on this bill.
How close are we to getting it passed?
Well, we have to have a hearing first. So the process is
first.
introduce the bill, have a hearing, and then it goes into committee. It's in the health committee right now. And push Councilmember Lynn Showman to push for a hearing as well.
Yeah. So people need to contact the council people, the elected.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're elected, and ask for them to push for a hearing on this bill.
Yeah.
And I would say big shout out to those people those members of the council that are supporting, that are co-sponsoring the bill with Councilmember Joseph. I can't call them by name, but I do know that there's some, brothers and sisters in the council that are stepping up to the plate and says, I agree with this or whatever. So shout out to those people that are, standing with you.
Well, we're with you guys every step of the way. Let us know what we need to do next.
Okay, you got it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no, we're not done yet. Where can we go for more information on this?
Reach out to Anthony.
So you could reach out to the NAACP.
Yeah.
You could email us at the NAACP@gmail.com. NAACP branch. NY NAACP branch @gmail.com.
Can we get into one of the schools, maybe the school auditorium or something like that, and do one of those 45-minute auditoriums?
I think anything is possible.
Chair,
I think we could set something like that up. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. You just let us know, and we're there every step of the way.
Absolutely.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on, and we got to come back and share more. We got to do more.
Yes.
We'll make it happen.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Dr. Bob.
You got it. Anthony Harmon, Director of Staff, United Federation of Teachers and NAACP President, the New York chapter, and of course, Rita Joseph, New York City Council Member, 40th Council District. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. We'll take a quick break right here. I've got a whole lot more. Keep it right here on Open.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. .55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. .34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
And welcome back. Our next guest is the co-founder and president of the New York Hispanic Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce. And she joins us to highlight how the organization is aiding the growth and development of beauty professionals and students and business owners. So please welcome to the show, Rommy Pennella. Rommy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being this part of the show.
I know they were on you all the time with your name, Rommy.
I get it
and
all
they
the time,
sang
but
that
I
song,
understand it.
Rommy
I'm
by
from the
Beanie
Bronx,
Man. I even have it right here.
Definitely.
It's somewhere in here.
I get that.
So, Rommy,
I should start a fashion show with that song
you
on,
did?
right?
You should. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Well, you
But I
can.
should,
That's you. Well, listen, you're from the BX, right?
Absolutely. Born and raised in the Bronx.
Uh-huh.
Actually went to Fordham University, graduated from there. I started in craft foods, doing product management, but 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, I partnered with Charito Cisneros, who's also my mom, who is a cosmetologist, director for a professor as more than 30 years. And we found that there was a loophole of what's happening in New York, in the area of the beauty industry, not just the cosmetologists,
Yeah.
everybody, barbers, spas, and so forth. And what we have noticed is a lot of people, especially the minority, a lot of these salons were closing. And the reason why is because of the rules and regulations at that time was more like a very a language that they didn't understood. And what they do with the beauty salons is like they hear it from other beauty salon, how you open the business and so forth. There weren't too much of the information within the beauty industry. So therefore, we opened this organization with the bringing awareness of the rules and regulation, what all the licensings are, because back in the days they were charging $4,000 to $5,000 for an application when it's only $45. And the reason they'd be doing that is because they didn't understood how the process go.
Yeah.
So the idea is that not only we help people with their license if they're from another country and they come here and they already have study and experience, we'll help them to obtain the license, but it's most importantly is how to open and operate a business in the beauty industry and what are the rules and regulations, because every state has their rules and regulations effective of what the beauty industry is about. And what we also want to be able to do, and actually is happening now, we have a lot of workshop, not just in the beauty technology or new products or new hair techniques or whatever the situation may be, but we also teach them about regarding to business and finance. We have people who teaching them in computers, who are understanding social media marketing at this point as well, and learning a little bit about also sterilization and sanitation. A lot of people have been licensed for like 20 something years, and they haven't been recuperating exactly what the new sterilization and sanitation rules are or what new infections comes in. For example, I remember back then with Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz, we were talking about all these letter grades, and how they have the restaurants, they have the letter grades for the salon, because the fact is they don't know. For example, barbershop, you go into a barbershop, you got to make sure that barbershop is clean, sterilized those blades, because a lot of people don't know, but you could get worms on your scalp and from utilizing and not sterilizing your blades or your razor and so forth. So we want to Oh yeah, worms. Like you see people with little holes and a little spot there. That's worms, like
Oh,
the ringworms.
ringworms, right?
Right, ringworms.
Yeah.
So there's so many infection on a nail where they have to cut off the finger because the nails are not they're using the same equipment for or supply to other clients. So these are we have to also bring awareness to the clients as well, to the
Yeah.
consumer, to understand what they have to look for in the beauty salons and so forth, and also having new products. People who creating their product have the opportunity how to create their product, where to launch their product, who to contact, who are the resources. So there not much back then, so much online as it is today, but there still is a quiet industry where they really don't give you too much. But they still, now all these Alibaba and all that stuff comes in.
Yeah.
But the very important, what they need to understand is the ingredients and what you're providing your clients, because a lot of people buy their product through the visual of the product and not knowing what's contained in there, especially for skincare. So these we provide information about that. We collaborate with companies or organizations to provide awareness about this
Yeah.
new products that come in or new techniques. The most important is that we give an opportunity for people who wants to grow in their business, because the beauty business is a big big market.
Yeah.
People buy beauty products, especially the minority. They're all like very heavy hitters when it comes to buying power on beauty product. And I want to be able to have companies to understand that Latinos or African American or Asian have this new ideas and product that also should be in line in Sephora and Ulta Beauty and so forth, because we create these ingredients for our people as well, so they also want to be part of the in the shelf. So we be able to help them, and we have a couple of great companies that are now out in the market. We have people in Walmart, Target that we have helped out. People who just now starting Ultra Beauty. So this is a track. Great tracks assessed from all these people that has been working with us for many years.
Hair, skin, nails, big, big.
Absolutely.
And you
And
spoke about
not only that, but also anybody in the beauty industry, such as fashion designer, interior
fashion.
designer. We have construction women who's also part of the membership of the chamber. And why? Because when you build your business, you want someone to visualize, you get the interior designer, but you want a construction person to visualize what you're doing. So it's really hands to hand, holding them together. Wellness. I'm so glad you guys talk about with the doctor and a councilwoman, Rita, because there is so much important about these. You guys talked about cigarettes and vaporing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we working on one of the biggest beauty business wellness summit to include those information that not only they're bringing all these new things for our young people, but they have to understand what's going on. So we're doing a lot of those summits as well. We're starting one of the biggest this year.
Yeah. So the Cosmetology and Beauty Chamber of Commerce, they offer the beauty professionals and to business owners, right? And you speak a lot
Correct.
about the rules and regulations.
Right.
People need to know, and what are some of those rules and regulations that they need to know again?
So, for instance, when you believe it or not, a lot of these people that comes from a different country and they come here, there's no licensing for operating the business. So what they do is when they lease out a storefront, just because they have a corporation or the sole proprietorship, they have a name to it, they just open up at the business thinking that's what it is, or they'll only need their personal license, which could be like barbering license and so forth. But they don't understand there's a business license in order to operate that. So
Yeah.
we have to give them a kind of like step by step on how to open that business and how to make that business successful, because this is not just a job, this is a career. So you could make it where you could have franchise your businesses. You could make it where you are a salon owner, but now you are a product, a creative, a product on your own. So a lot of people does that. They open their salon, it becomes successful. They open another one. Now they want their little secret in what they do in their product mixture. So now they want to be able to sell the product. So it's a huge market, especially now that we have social media for free, literally. They could market on TikTok and Instagram and so forth. So we want to be able to let them know what kind of opportunity they have as well, not just back in the days with the flyers or so forth like that. Now they could do
Yeah.
more than that, and we want to be able to teach them that.
And Rommy, you have a co-founder. Who's that person?
So I am the co-founder. Charito Cisneros is the founder. And she's actually the CEO. That's her. She's the actually CEO. They just nominated me for be the president. So now with
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So now with this, we have a lot of proposal going, a lot of new stuff that we will be able to boost our beauty business industry into not only a great successful business, but a lot of awareness and to understand how to grow their business and to protect our consumer as well.
Yeah. I understand you have some seminars and workshops coming up.
Yes, we constantly have our workshop every other Tuesday. We do the business workshop because it's very necessary to understand. And we also have, of course, microblading, skincare. A lot of those are workshop as well. We certify them, and a lot of people from beauty school also comes over just to give her like a fresh up of how certain areas of innovation that might be coming in that they want to learn. We bring those professional specialties to come in.
Yeah. How often do you have those refresher courses or refresher seminars?
So we have them every month. We have them every month. We do it not just in the Bronx. We do it through the New York State. We do it in Westchester County as well.
Yeah.
We have been working also in Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida. Believe it or not, in Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Argentina. So we want to be able to spread awareness of the beauty industry and how to grow their business as well. And again, we collaborate with many specialties, many companies and professionals in the area.
Yeah. So you have something coming up soon. What's the latest technology? Anything that you can share with us today?
In regarding to which care, because it could be for man, woman, skin, hair. I mean,
what
there's
pops
so
up
many.
in your mind dealing with skin?
Dealing with skin. Okay, so one of them, which is happening now, that's why I had to come here. Actually, this is a computer room. Our office is actually in Lehman College to continue education, because we also do, back in the days, we have done classes with Lehman College as well as Coastal Community College. One of the techniques that we're doing today is microblading and microshading.
Microblading.
Right, the eyebrows, the people who do, so to perfect the eyebrows, it's a semi-permanent. And what they do is, I mean, believe it or not, you take these courses, 4-day courses, but yet you charge people, man does it too. They charge between $400 to $800 per person. So imagine,
really?
Yes, $400, $800 per person, even more. And imagine how many clients can you have in a week. Imagine you are on social media, so people makes great money in this area.
Yeah.
And
You could do that alone.
People start
I'm going to specialize in that.
Should I do microblading on the side?
I'm
sorry?
That's good. And what is microblading? Actually, this is not just shaving the eyebrows. It's
No. It's a semi-permanent. It's kind of like giving you a shape of your eyebrows and then give it a little shade. People with, for example, because we work a lot also with domestic violence victims and cancer survivor, and single moms. I gotta really talk about that. We have a program, and I'm gonna go back to it.
Yeah, 15 seconds.
Okay, so the beauty business program is one of the most important programs we have because it's for single moms or young entrepreneur who wants to go and start up their business. We get them from schooling to licensing to open up their business to have a mentor to be able to continue to open their businesses. And then back to what you're talking about, the microblading, it's meant for men and women, and we help out in regarding to that. And domestic violence, we've been doing Diva Spa for the past 12 years in the Bronx Borough President, where we we invite about 800 to 400 people a day that we do free spot, free makeup, hair, everything, just for them to feel good and look great.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Rommy Pennella, president and co-founder. Yeah, now she's the president. Congratulations. And New York Hispanic Cosmetology Beauty Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll take a break. More coming up next on Open.
What's up, creative family? Discover your voice with BronxNet Community Media classes. Are you ready to bring your ideas to life? At BronxNet, we offer television production classes for community members ages 18 and over, empowering you to share your vision with the world. Get certified in field production, in-studio production, and our new exciting addition, podcast production. Once certified, you can create your own show to air on one of our 6 TV channels. It all starts with our free Unleash Your Ideas Masterclass, designed to help you plan your show idea and set you up for success on your production journey. This class is offered at the beginning of each month for your convenience. Our dedicated BronxNet team is here to support, encourage, and uplift you every step of the way. Join us and become a part of the creative force that engages and inspires the Bronx community and beyond. Sign up today and start your media journey with BronxNet. Visit bronxnet.org/education to learn more and register. Let's create something amazing together.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city, and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
And welcome back. Our next guest is an author and the founder and chief mischief maker of the Freeman Institute Foundation. He joins us to speak about his book project, Jack Johnson, The Secret 1910 Recording Revealed, highlighting the legendary boxer's impact on the world of sports and beyond. So please welcome to the show, Dr. Joel A. Freeman. Doctor, welcome.
Dr. Bob, it's so good to meet you finally. Heard a lot about you. A lot of good stuff.
All good stuff. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much. All right. All right. CMM. Should we call you CMM?
Sure. Chief Mischief Maker. That's what they call me.
Doctor,
Been that way all my life.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, of course. Can you give us a little background on how you got involved in working on this project and what inspired you to get involved in it?
Well, I just, in terms of Jack Johnson, this is the booklet right here,
Yeah.
Jack Johnson Speaks. I was one of the first chaplains in the history of the NBA with the Washington Bullets, Wizards, back in the days of Wes Unseld and Phil Chenier and Mitch Kupchak, Kevin Greavy, all those guys, Kevin Porter, Elvin Hayes.
Wow.
And so what happened is, of course, their position in life attracts a lot of insincere people. And they're looking at me like, you know, this little kid, I was 25, looked 15. This kid, I'm supposed to spill my guts to this guy? You gotta be kidding me. And so what happened was they began to ask questions. Of course, as chaplain, they wanted to know what did Jesus look like? What part did people of African descent play in extra biblical history?
Yeah.
So I began to study, and I connected with Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, and who passed away in 2009, and he became my mentor. We spent hours upon hours on the phone, and I'd watch things like Eyes on the Prize, Part 1, Part 2, Africa, A Voyage of Discovery, a BBC series by Basil Davidson, and many other, read books. I was just voracious appetite.
Yeah.
And when I happened upon Jack Johnson, I said, this guy, he's unusual. This guy is different. Man, I need to know more about him.
Yeah. No, He's in one of my books too, People to Know in Black History and Beyond.
Yes.
Jack Johnson is one of the heavyweight champs of his time. And but can you tell us more about the man, Jack Johnson, and what inspired? Well, Muhammad Ali was inspired by Jack Johnson.
Oh,
also.
absolutely, yes. In 1969, they had the Great White Hope with James Earl Jones, and then of course 1970 was the movie version, and Muhammad Ali came out at least twice. He taught James Earl Jones some moves and things like that he used in the play. But Jack was raised in the 12th Ward in the East End of Galveston.
Yeah.
And he didn't go past the 5th grade, and he was a stevedore. He was just worked with horses and all kinds of things. But the thing that really impressed me about him is that outside of boxing, I mean, we can talk about the sweet science of boxing and his stance and his height and his weight and how he used all that to his advantage. We can get into that if you want, but also in his travels around the world, I mean, he was around people like Rasputin, the Tsar Nicholas. He was in all kinds of situations. He was a spy. That many people don't know. When he was in Spain, Colonel Logan with the U.S. Army, and he was on the lam. I mean, he was avoiding because of the Mann Act and all the rest of the United States. They wanted to put him away for a year. But he was commissioned by Colonel Logan to look at submarine activity on the coast of Spain. And he came back with some actionable intel that they were able to utilize at that time. He was while he was in Spain, he opened up an ad agency in Barcelona. It didn't do very well, but to have the kind of attitude like, hey, I can open up an ad agency. That's incredible. While in Spain, he was a bullfighter. He was taught by Joselito, a famous bullfighter, and another gentleman. And he could have actually switched careers and become a famous bullfighter in Spain if he wanted to.
Wow.
He also was a wrestler in Spain because he was trying to make money any way he could. He was an actor.
And he made money. He made a lot of money for those times.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he fought the fight of the century, he made what they say now it's worth about $2.1 million on that fight.
Yeah. But before he fought that fight, there was a big fight with Stanley Ketchel. Yes? No?
Yes. He fought Tommy Burns in Australia. And, of course, Stanley Ketchel. He fought a lot of different individuals. But Burns is the one that really put him on the map because Burns became the heavyweight champion of the world. He had John L. Sullivan. He had James Jeffries. All these white heavyweights. They didn't want to fight black fighters. Right. And so, in fact, they put that out there. But
then he finally fought Jeffries. That was the big fight that Jeffries never wanted to fight him. But
that's right.
He finally fought. They finally fought. And, of course,
and that was because he fought Tommy Burns. Tommy Burns was a Canadian, had a different sensibility. He says, yeah, I'll take him on.
Yeah.
But it was such a mismatch. They had to stop the fight at the very end. They stopped the film because it was just so brutal.
Yeah.
He was toying with him the whole fight. But now he's the heavyweight champion, but they put an asterisk next to it because they said, you never fought James Jeffries.
Yeah.
And James was on an avocado farm, or alfalfa farm, I should say, in Southern California. He had grown up to about 300 pounds, and he didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
But the public pressure came against him, and finally it became a whole racial thing about the Great White Hope coming to show that whites were superior in every way to a black fighter like Jack Johnson.
Yeah. Wow, you've done your research for sure. I didn't know that he was a spy.
Yeah, he did that for a short while. And then another thing is that many don't know, you probably know, but he was very proficient in the law. When he came to England after fighting the fight of the century and escaping, getting to England, You had Winston Churchill who was the Home Secretary, and you had these folks called reformers. There's F.B. Meyer was a big reformer, and they were against the brutality of fighting because there's no real boxing commission that was saying, hey, we can only go 13 rounds. I mean, they would go 45 rounds, and it was a game of chance of how someone could persevere through it all.
Yeah.
But anyway, he met with one of the commissioners. And he said, or one of the people that were making the decision about whether or not he could box. And he brought him through the rules of the Marksbury rules, or I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they brought him through the rules. And he comported himself as a lawyer. And the press was amazed. And then later on, when he was in Barbados for 3 weeks, this one guy was making trouble for him and said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna sue him, do a frivolous lawsuit. He has so much money, he's going to pay me off just to avoid the legal issues."
Yeah.
Well, Jack went into court. He won the case, and the judge was astonished at his understanding of English law.
Yeah.
It's crazy how incredible of a man he was. His favorite writers were Victor Hugo and Alexander Dumas.
Wow.
He could quote Shakespeare. He just was. In fact, when he opened up his restaurant in the Café de Champion in Chicago, he had several Rembrandts up on the wall that he brought back from Europe. That's how Jack was.
Yeah.
How he wanted to get involved with culture and music. He could play the bass viola. It's an incredible human being.
If you were able to talk to him today, what would you ask him? I know you're a research buff. You get deeply involved. If you was able to speak
I think C.S. Lewis says that courage is at the basis of all character qualities. It takes courage to forgive, for instance. It takes courage to be kind. It takes courage to be a person of justice and be hopeful. And I just think that he used courage in so many wonderful ways in terms of fighting the establishment and doing what he did. I mean, he had physical threats, people wanting to kill him, poison him, all kinds of things coming against him.
That was his biggest fight, fighting that.
That's right.
It's like you're going into the ring. Yeah, I'm going to fight over here, but I still have to deal with all this crap when I get out of the ring.
There could be someone in the stands with a .44 ready to take you out if you win. That's the threat.
Wow.
But I think what I'd want to talk with him about is how he dealt with women, because he had courage in every part of his life except sexual issues and his conquests. And as a chaplain working with professional athletes, I understand the appetites, the temptations, the issues that come along with it.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'd like to talk with him about, is because women really helped to destroy him in many ways in terms of how he was so promiscuous, and they took advantage, and he took advantage, and it just that's a part of his legacy. I would just love to talk with him about that.
Doctor, did they come up with the Mann Act? Was that the first time they came up with the Mann Act for Jack Johnson?
Well, they came up with that in prior to that, 1910. He had beat James Jeffries.
Yeah.
There's no other fighter out there that could take him. And so you had a couple of things that were happening. Number one, the Congress put together a law that fight films could not be disseminated around the country, because after the fight, they had race riots all across the country. 20 people died, and they didn't want to inflame that. But they couched it in a moral sense, but it really was racial. The Mann Act was put in place that later took him down. And that's part of what took him down. But that came on a little bit later. And that was the way that they were trying to catch him. And that was really designed for Jack Johnson, to take women across state lines for promiscuous purposes, for sexual purposes. And so
I got 30 seconds, Doc.
But that, anyway, people get a hold of this at jackjohnsonspeaks.com if you can.
Yeah. Thank you. You're very knowledgeable. We would like to have you on again. This is fantastic. And thank you for sending this up this way.
This is the book, Black History 365, that I hope helped to co-write with Dr. Walter Milton.
You
and Jack
got
is
it.
in there.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Doctor. Dr. Joel A. Freeman, PhD, author. Jack Johnson Speaks, The Secret 1910 Recording Revealed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bob.
You got it. All right, we'll take a break. I've got a little bit more coming up next on Open.
We're going to start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructors for the in-studio production. Here at BronxNet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit bronxnet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
There you go. Welcome back. You know, National Migraine Headache Awareness Month is here, and millions of Americans battle the grip of debilitating migraines. But hope is in the air. Hope is in the form of a brand new migraine relief supplement line that is being launched by our Dr. Kenneth Munnerlyn. Doctor, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You know, we know a lot of people that just can't shake it. You know, I got this headache. I can't get rid of it. Sometimes you'll be on the phone with somebody. I got this headache. I got to go lay down. I got this headache. And they're dealing with a number of different things. Some of them can be allergies. Some of them can be just something that comes on, a reaction to what you're eating. Or there's a number of things out there, right, Doc?
Yeah. And a lot of people who have migraine, it tends to run in families. So the incidence is about 50% of people have a genetic reason for having migraine headaches.
Yeah.
Now, some of those things that will provoke it tends to be things that you mentioned before, like foods, cheese, chocolate, cured meats and nitrates, things like that. It tends to have sort of a migrainogenic type of effect on people.
Yeah. Well, what prompted you to create your own migraine relief supplement?
Well, you know, as a neurologist, I've pretty much dedicated my life to sort of brain health and helping people be healthier and fuller in how they live. But my journey for migraine it was more of a personal story with my son. And my son developed migraine headaches when he was 5 years old. He's about 6.5 right now.
Yeah.
And it was a scary moment when he was crying and he kind of passed out, went to sleep. And it was a scary feeling, you know, to see that in my son. Now, as a neurologist, I treat migraine for a living, and I've been doing that for over a decade now. You know, it made me really think about also all the countless patients that I've seen that want a natural alternative to prescription medications and how they treat their migraine. So most people are worried about the side effects and things like that. They just want a more holistic approach. But as a physician and a parent, I just figured, let me come up with something that might offer a better way for people. So that's pretty much why I created this supplement. And so it's backed by science. We're using things like magnesium, B2 vitamin, feverfew, and one of the things that we're using that's a little bit different is probiotics.
Yeah. So, but you studied Western medicines, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you said, you know what? But you know how that works.
Right.
But it seems like when you got your son involved, you said, wait a minute, I got to get right down to it. I got to find something that will get more to the root of the problem that's not so maybe powerful. Because when you get into supplements, it's a little more subtle. It gets you in there. Although you can find something that's a little stronger. But but chemotherapy instead of supplements, meaning chemicals instead of supplements, sometimes doctors want to go straight to it. But you found something different.
Well, I've always sort of had an integrated approach to medicine in general. I mean, I practice allopathic medicine, but also there are things that people did back in the day that were also effective. The medicine man was telling people to chew on willow bark, and we later called that aspirin. So, there was something that could be said for, using that integrative approach and how we treat patients. And again, for what we're doing, we're taking natural supplements, again, things like magnesium, B2 vitamin, CoQ10, and the probiotics as, these are things that have been studied as well. So, for the treatment of migraine, for example, B2 vitamin, I use a lot in my pregnant patients because I'm so cautious about giving other medications that might affect the development of the baby. So, but there is research behind it, and it is known to be effective in migraine prevention as well.
Yeah. So probiotics deals with the intestines and everything. Mm-hmm. Because you can get a headache from that. You can get a headache from not eating.
No, that's true. And the thing about the gut health is, there's a whole concept called the neural gut axis. And that's going on in discussing or really about the concept of how your gut and your brain works together.
Yeah.
So, for example, 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut. And serotonin is implicated in things like depression as well as migraine headaches. So those types of things might be helpful in mood. If you look at your Prozacs and Zoloft, those are working through those serotonin channels as well. So, we're kind of tackling it from a more holistic approach and from an inflammation perspective, as well as the antioxidants and things like that, sort of anti-inflammatory effects.
Yeah. The Egyptians were up to something years ago, back in the day. They went to colonics and everything. They knew that something was happening with the insides. We need to keep these things clean so that we can live a little longer. So they knew something was up. And I'm glad you found something for your son.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Which helps us to, use it for people that are having. I have a niece that she's always complaining about the migraines. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she just can't take it for like days at a time.
Yeah, and many of the patients that we see in our clinic, the average person, they're having migraines once a week. Some people are having them every day, multiple times a day. And it affects people's life. It affects your quality of life. It affects people's ability to work, to have relationships. People are having to call off of work. And so our goal was to try to find something, again, that didn't really have much side effects, but also affected your headache intensity as well as the frequency. So people can use this as a primary treatment or supplement for migraine prevention or as an adjunct. So if you're taking an everyday medicine and you're still resistant, this would be an add-on to that treatment.
Yeah. But there'll be no reaction to taking both, right?
No, there's no reaction. You don't have to worry about any sort of drug interactions and things like that. And we keep in mind, most of these things are naturally occurring. So magnesium, these are in foods, the B2 vitamins and things like that, CoQ10. These are all things that are naturally occurring. So you're not really worried about side effects from anything else that you're taking.
Yeah. And what makes Dr. Munnerlyn's migraine relief different from other migraine supplements?
Well, again, I think the bigger thing that's making us different is we're tackling the neural gut axis and how our gut is affecting our migraine, our energy levels, our mood, and things like that. It also helps improve your immunity as well. And so we're adding on the probiotics to this because I think that the probiotic addition will have a significant benefit in migraine prevention.
Yeah, I like that the magnesium that you put in there also. It helps clear out some things too.
It does. It'll keep you regular too.
Yeah.
But also, again, it's good for things like sleep,
Yeah,
for
that's true.
relaxation, mood, and things like that. A lot
Yeah.
of people are using that too.
That's good. That's good. And how long does it take for someone to start seeing the results?
You normally in these situations, I would say probably about 8 weeks. But with that being said, there are other benefits that you'll see early. So by 8 weeks or so, probably max at 12 weeks, you'll see a significant reduction in the migraine intensity, the migraine frequency, but also some of the added benefits that you'll see much sooner because these things are still good for overall health. You'll see things like better sleep, better mood, better energy, and things like that that'll come much sooner.
Doc, do you have any tips for people who are suffering or dealing with the migraines to
probably
deal with it
one
naturally?
One of the bigger things, probably the single thing that probably would make the most difference is making sure you stay very well hydrated. Dehydration is one of the more common causes of people having these migraines. They go to the pool, they go out drinking, and they get dehydrated from that. And so aggressive hydration is the one thing of all these things that will make the biggest difference in that.
Is it seasonal? People think that they get thirsty more in the summertime than in the wintertime. I don't. What do you think?
Yeah, there is some seasonal component, usually with changes of season. So if you have changes in barometric pressures, that can provoke migraine in people that have a tendency to have migraine in the first place. So that's probably one of the bigger things with that.
Can you still take the supplement if you just want to? You don't have the migraines, but you still want to improve your health?
You can. And, you can see a lot of these supplements sold in isolation. So you can go out and buy your probiotics for one thing and then your magnesium for another thing. And it's good for overall health. So our goal is to put it all together. It's actually much cheaper to do that, too, than go take a bunch of pills and take all of your 4 pills of your magnesium. So it is good for general health as well. So again, helps with better sleep, better mood, better energy, and overall better health.
Will it help a person think a little bit better? Brain health.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah, good. Where can people find you?
So they can find us at www.drmunnerlyn.com and also on Facebook, Dr. Munnerlyn Supplements for Life.
Dr. Munnerlyn, thank you so much. And you got to come back. Our house is your house.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got it. All right.
All right. Take care.
Dr. Kenneth Munnerlyn, founder and Dr. Munnerlyn's Migraine Relief. All right, we'll take we're not going to take a break. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. Wow. Funny how time flies when you're having fun. I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. And make sure you keep following us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. Join our hosts, Jonathan Calexto, Darren Jaime, and Rita Valentini. New episodes of Open coming your way. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. To choose your choice, let your choice control the chooser. Of the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. Catch you another day, another way. I love you all. Peace. One more.